Sometimes I love you, Mark. Sometimes I can't stand you. Today is the latter. So thank you for the wild introduction. I have no idea what he was saying, but thanks to him for giving me a cue by going. If we've been talking about you, we probably weren't talking about you. If we're talking about me, then cheers again, Ben. So I will start by thanking the beautiful bride and dashing groom for allowing me to play a small part in their big day. It really means the world. I would also like to wish the groom good luck this evening on his big win night with his small part. So sorry. So I'm Mike, and not everybody can say that they've got a funny, loyal, handsome, charismatic, and just all-round good egg best friend. But you can, Tom. Me and Tom have been best friends for 20 years, and what a 20 years has been. So for you to ask me to be your best man was an absolute honour. But if I take things back to the start, he was just the boy next door to begin with. So, I met Tom through my first best friend, David, who was his next door neighbour, and quickly the three of us became inseparable, always hanging out together, and going around to Tom's mum's house to play what we call the mattress game. That's not an innuendo, that sounds now that I've heard it, it sounds terrible, but I'll explain the rules. We would take the mattress off Tom's bed and put it on the stairs. The three of us would start at the bottom of the stairs and essentially fight our way to the top by any means necessary. First to the top wins. Sounds simple. There was all but just one rule, and I mean one rule. Do not in any circumstances hold on to the spindles of the banister to support your weight when the other two are trying to pull you down. I think the pennies started to drop. Funny enough, one day after playing this game, that one rule was broken, and ironically enough, it was broken by the rule setter himself. Our groom's here. We immediately started to panic, saying, "What are we going to say to your mum? What are you going to say to your mum?" And then Tom had a genius idea. Blame his little sister, Ellie. Blame it all on poor little dear Ellie. So, Anne, you most likely knew immediately what happened from all the crash bang wallop you could hear. But this has been with me for 20 years now, and I need to come clean, because I've been having sleepless nights. It was all Tom's fault. I am so sorry. Eventually, mine and Tom's friendship blossomed to the point that we decided to part ways with David from our three-way friendship. But that's what I like to tell myself anyway, but in actual fact, I think David just met cooler friends and left us. But my version of events sounds far better. Since then, me and Tom have experienced amazing things. Like, we've had so many amazing experiences together. We've shared so much, and at times shared too much. Like when we went to V Festival one year, I like looking at Tom to see if the penny starts to drop, but let me fill in the blanks. First group festival, excitement was in the air, and this obviously led to one too many drinks for Tom, and he was at the point where he required assistance moving from place to place. But luckily I was on hand, being the good, selfless friend that I am. After battling our way through the crowds, we found a good spot where we could settle down and watch Eminem, a global icon who would not be back in the UK for some time. And it was at this point that Tom decided he needed the toilet. Couple of problems. We were now stood in a crowd of thousands of people, and Tom was suffering from a little bit of stage fright, so was unable to perform. Leaning on me for support to just stand upright, I eventually heard a subtle in my ear, and when I looked down, I could see not only was he using me as a balance beam, but he had started to relieve himself in an empty cup that he found on the floor. I told him to put it on the floor just to get rid of it, but Tom, he wants to get rid of the evidence by hurling it into the crowd. Before I could act, Tom was now stood in front of me, target acquired, and as he drew his arm back, he's now got his hand positioned above my head and the cup is tipped. Before I could act, everything went into slow motion, and before I knew it, I now had my best friend's warm bodily fluids on my face. My only option was to wash my face with white wine that some kind person passed me after watching these horrific events. I forgot to mention when Tom threw the cup, it was empty at this point, so he just threw an empty cup into a crowd. Shortly afterwards, Tom fell asleep on the spot, one of his special moves on nights out, and I had to essentially carry him back through the crowds of 1,000 people back to our tent, eyes stinging on both wee and wine. Not a great combination. Tom is one to fully immerse himself into anything, whether it's his sense of adventure, travelling and living out in Australia for a few years, or when the smallest and most unique opportunities present themselves, like one time towards the end of university. One of the groomsmen here, who shall remain anonymous to protect their identity, said that they'd seen a trend that was sweeping colleges. If anybody can guess who that groomsman is, either chuckle, then, you know, you can fill in the blanks. But he'd said he'd seen a trend that was sweeping colleges across America, and that we should try it. What is that trend, you ask? And I'm going to keep it PG. It involves vodka, a specific feminine hygiene product, and you might be able to work out the rest. But if not, let me paint the picture. After a worryingly very little debate, Tom and groomsman X decided that this sounded like a great idea and we should try it. I, on the other hand, thought, I'm not getting involved in this barbaric act, but curiosity got the better of me, and I volunteered to bear witness to the heinous act that was about to take place. Heinous, but not far off. After speaking to some of the girls at the party to get assistance obtaining the vital product to perform this sick ritual, the stage was set, the vodka was poured into a bowl, said product was now soaked, and pants were around ankles, not including mine. Anyway, I struggle with this. They each took, it's this line, I struggle with. They each took turn at inserting their own vodka-soaked device because helping each other out. Take another sip, I want to try that again. So, they each took turns at inserting their own vodka-soaked device because helping each other at this point would have been weird enough. But mission was successful, pants were pulled back up, and back down to the party they sheepishly went. After hours of bum clenching and quite literally waddling from bar to bar, the night abruptly ended when Tom fell asleep in a bar. Nothing out of the ordinary, so it's hard to say whether science prevailed that night, but all I know is humanity really did lose. To make matters worse, somehow I came up with the scenario, the weird one, the not getting involved. So I don't know what that says about them too. But that's Tom, a full sense of adventure and jumping headfirst into things. Or, in this case, bum first. I'm so sorry about that story. Tom has always been a well-spoken and confident person. Two traits that he used to carry over when trying to woo the ladies on nights out, or Riz as the cool kids call it. He's so well-spoken and confident that one night in London he attempted what I considered the impossible. One of the other groomsmen here, who shall remain anonymous, we were in a nightclub in London and had unfortunately vomited all down Tom's back. So Tom is now wearing a 6-stain shirt that reeked of recycled alcohol and junk food. And Tom was trying to chattel pretty good looking girl, to be fair. The conversation seemed to be going well, I just didn't really notice. But it turns out that this girl was Spanish and spoke little to no English whatsoever. And you could see the moment that penny dropped when not only could she communicate with Tom, but she could realise that the smell was coming from Tom. He had a trump move, a trump card to play, which was, he knew conversation was going well, he knew it was going down in a blaze of glory. He tried to woo her with the power of dance. Busting out one of the terrible moves the uni crowd came up with over the years. Like, some of the special ones like sweeping the chimney. Was it Loading the Bazooka, can you remember that one? And shopping bags, yeah. Based on Tom's demonstration, you'd be surprised to know that he was unsuccessful in his conquest that evening. He did earn a lot of respect on my half for attempting the near impossible. Big shout out to all the lads that won the stag do. I know it meant the world to Tom that everybody, for those who was able to make it, and it was a nice, quiet weekend. Sheffield is a wonderful city full of great culture and sightseeing, and Jesus, there was some sights to see. Especially when we dressed Tom as a bride, complete with veil and stockings. Apologies to Tom's dad Mark, who had to see his son in this state, with his immediate response upon seeing his son being, oh, for f***'s sake. But the night went off without a hitch, and Tom worryingly really sported the look very well. I've seen uglier women. I'll just say that. I was looking at him, don't worry. I knew it was mission successful in organising the stag do when, at the end of the first night, I had to assist myself, the groom, father of the groom and father of the bride into a taxi because we've had one too many shandies. But it was a hell of a weekend, it was a heavy session, and everybody put in a hell of a stunt. The fact that in the WhatsApp group there was a poll for best sick of the weekend, kind of set up by Paul Joyce over there, speaks volumes to how heavy that weekend was. But I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the families of bride and groom. I've been to Anne's many times down the years, and Mark has taken me on countless camping trips down the years, and I've always felt a warm welcome and a strong sense of family. Upon hearing about and meeting some of Steph's family, you get the same sense of energy, and that you can tell that the bride and groom both came from loving, caring backgrounds. This is a tradition that Tom and Steph have continued in the form of the arrival of the main little girl over there, Happy Prendergast. Poppy is an adorable girl, and her personality continues to blossom. She is a testament to the love that Steph and Tom show one another, and I have no doubt in my mind that she'll grow into a wonderful woman with a bright future ahead of her with you both guiding her. But ladies and gentlemen, it would be rude of me not to acknowledge the most important people this weekend. By looking at them, they make an unstoppable team. I know I speak for everybody here when I say that we'll be supporting them all the way in their journey, and I absolutely know in my mind that they'll go all the way. So if you could raise your glasses to the England squad at the Euros. I'm so glad that they qualified. There was a moment where I was going, I'm going to have to change this bit off the speech. Yeah, they could have been playing match. But seriously, before Steph considers throwing that wine at me, and Tom looks for another empty cup to fill with his weed, it's potentially going to be good. I know you both individually, and I absolutely love the pair of you. But when you're together, that's when we see everybody here sees the best out of you. Steph, thank you for making my best friend happy. I can honestly say this is the best version of him I've ever known, and that I know you'll look after him. I knew the day would come when Tom finds himself a new best friend, and I honestly couldn't have asked for anybody better to take my place. You look absolutely stunning, and thank you for being an even better friend to me too. This will be a trouble with this bit. And Tom, our groom. When writing the speech, it reminded me about how much I really do appreciate you, all bad stories aside. I may be best man for the day, but you truly are the best man in person that I know and that anybody could hope for to have as best friend. You've always been by my side through the good times and the bad, and I'll always be thankful for that. We've been best friends for 20 years, and I very much look forward to the next 20. So, from the boy next door to the man, father, and now husband that you are, I can honestly say I'm so proud of you, mate. as you embark on a new life as husband and wife. So, if I could ask everybody to be up and standing, please. We wish you nothing but the best, and we know that you have that in each other. To our bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Prendergast.